proactive and make sure that EPA, with all the budget cuts that we're doing here, that EPA is doing the work that we need them to do to protect our environment. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I thank the gentlelady from Michigan. I recognize the gentleman from Alabama, Mr. Palmer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Myberg, I think we've pretty well covered some of the problems at the EPA regarding sexual misconduct, but there are other forms of employee misconduct that I want to address, specifically about an investigation that's going on in the Birmingham, Alabama area involving the EPA, in which EPA employees, I think, have acted improperly in conducting the investigation, specifically seeking access to property without getting the permission of the owner and actually intimidating people who are occupying houses on the property. I have an affidavit here in which one of these people who reside on the property made these allegations that officials of the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, approached me to seek permission to test the property. The EPA officials presented me with a document to sign to allow them to sample the yard. The EPA representative was acting very intimidating and informed me that I needed to sign the release over even though I did not own the property, which is a clear violation. I felt very intimidated and compelled to sign the release even though I did not want to do so. Upon signing the release, I asked the EPA official what was so urgent in trying to obtain access to my yard. The EPA officials responded that they are in Tarrant, Alabama, which is right there, a suburb of Birmingham, to shut down the ABC Coke plant. Does the EPA discipline employees who act in such an overzealous manner?
Congressman, anytime we have an allegation of misconduct, we investigate it, and if the investigation shows that misconduct has occurred, then we will take action to hold the employee accountable.
So do you punish that, or do you encourage it?
Again, Congressman, when an allegation occurs of misconduct, we investigate it, and as Agent Sullivan or Director Sullivan specified, one of the things that occurs on many investigations is the investigation does not find any wrongdoing. When it does, we take appropriate follow-up action to hold the employee accountable.
Well, I would like to point out that this is not the only affidavit like this. There are several others, and you know, we're not going to release them. I'm not going to enter them into the record or use their names this time, but do you believe it is appropriate for the EPA personnel to pressure and intimidate citizens into endorsing EPA's agenda?
Congressman, I'm not familiar with the specifics that you're referring to. We'll be happy to take that back.
The specifics here are the EPA employee forced this renter to give access to property they didn't have legal access to in an intimidating manner, and then afterwards told them that the whole point of the investigation was to shut down a legal business. Is that how the EPA does business? Do you encourage your employees to do that? Do you allow them to intimidate? Do you allow them to operate outside the law? Are you aware that this goes on?
Congressman, again, I'm not familiar with the specifics of the cases you're
I'm asking you in general.
In general, we ask employees to behave in accordance with good, solid standards of professional conduct.
Well, they don't always. Do you believe it's appropriate for EPA employees to seek to shut down a legitimate business that employs many people?
Again, Congressman, our job is to go out and to enforce the law, to make sure that people are protected and the laws are followed. That is what we do.
Let me tell you, I've got a number of issues with EPA, how they do business, how they handle their investigations. Senator Richard Shelby, Senator Jeff Sessions, and I sent a letter to Administrator McCarthy and Regional Administrator for Region 4, Heather McTeer-Toney, back on February 26th of this year, asking for information about the EPA's investigation of this area and got a letter back saying that with respect to your concerns about the EPA's enforcement approach and/or theories of liability against any PRP associated with the site, unfortunately, the EPA cannot engage in any level of discussions with third parties, including members of Congress, as articulated in the memorandum, and I've got the memorandum here. That seems to me to undermine our oversight ability, and I intend, Mr. Chairman, to look into this further. I would like to enter my letter and the EPA's response into the record if there are no objections.
Without objection, so ordered.
I yield the balance of my time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I thank the gentleman from Alabama. The gentlewoman from Illinois, Ms. Kelly, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Meinberg and Mr. Sullivan, thank you for being here.